Hi, my name's Kay. I'm a social worker here at County Social Services.
Hi, I'm Lucy. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, enjoying the nice sunny weather. So glad it's not so cold close to Halloween.
Yeah, and it was raining yesterday. It's like so much nicer to have nice weather.
I know exactly what you mean. Do you have any fun plans for this weekend?
We're going to the hockey game this weekend, or both the games Friday and Saturday night, and then I promised my kids that I'd take them shopping to go pick out their Halloween costumes.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun, I think.
Do they already have it picked out what they're going to be?
Kind of. I mean, my oldest daughter, Annie, she wants to be one of the ladies from Ghostbusters. My other daughter, Peyton, wants to be Wonder Woman. And Max, my son, he's a little undecided about what he wants to be. And right now, it's either Batman or a police officer, but it changes from day to day. So we'll see.
Yeah. My daughter, she's also into that whole superhero thing. She's going to be Catwoman this year. And then
that's cute.
I have a son as well. He's a lot younger, and he can't seem to make up his mind either. One minute he's going to be a firefighter, and then he's going to be a tree. I don't know where that even came from.
A tree, wow. That's different.
Yeah, he's a special little guy. So before we get started, I want to go over our privacy policy with you.
Okay.
Basically, this policy means that we will not release any of your information without your signed consent unless you are threatening harm to yourself or other, and that does include everything we talk about today.
Okay.
So I'll let you read over this, and then if you could just sign it, print your name, and then date it at the bottom.
Okay. And then, so does this mean that, like, anyone can see these records, or is it just you and me, and then if, like, it needs to be given to someone else?
Just
my
you,
consent?
Me, and then if we, like, refer you to somewhere or something like that, and you would need to give your consent.
Okay. Sounds good. What's the date today?
I think it's the 27th.
Okay.
All right, looks good. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you in today? Go for it.
Okay. Well, I came to see you because I'm concerned about my daughter Annie, and my marriage. I've been married to my husband Connor for 14 years. We got married right after we graduated college. Connor has some anger issues and has a difficult time controlling himself when he gets upset. He sometimes takes his anger out on me, and I'm worried that he'll do the same to Annie now that she's 13. Connor raises his voice at her, and even though he's never hit her, I'm just worried that this is what's going to happen, or that he's going to start hitting her, because that's how it started with our relationship. He would start yelling, and then it slowly turned into physical abuse. And I mean, I just don't want her to go through the same things that I've experienced. And he's great with our other daughter Peyton and her son Mac. It's just his attitudes and everything changed towards Annie.
Okay, so you mentioned that Connor's been violent towards you throughout your marriage, and could you please just tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, it's not that bad. Like, sometimes when he loses his temper, he will yell at me. Sometimes he'll hit or push me around. Sometimes this is complete control, and then it ends up really hurting me. I've had to go to the emergency room a few times because of his temper. The last time I went to the emergency room was because Connor pushed me down the stairs, and I ended up breaking my arm. And I just recently got out of a cast a few months ago. So, I mean, I can handle it and having to make up excuses as to why I need to go to the emergency room, but I'm not okay with it when it comes to Annie. Every time Connor loses his temper, he apologizes and promises that he'll change, and tells me and the kids how much he loves us. I truly believe that he's sorry, and I just think that he needs help with controlling his temper.
Well, you said your husband says that he'll change, and you do think he needs to get help gaining self-control. Has your husband ever sought help for that in the past?
No, he's never really made the effort. I've offered to help find him, like, resources to help with it, but he just blows it off.
Have you ever talked to anyone else about what's going on when it comes to the safety of your family?
I mean, I've talked to my mother. She knows about Connor's temper. And I've told her that I'm worried that Annie is going to become one of his targets. But to me, it just seems like she doesn't understand the fear that I have for my daughter.
How does your mother react when you tell her about your concerns?
She just usually like reminds me that part of a wife's job is to put up with their husband's anger. And she constantly reminds me that Connor's always been the one to provide a steady financial support, and asks me what I'd do if I didn't have that financial support, because I mean, where would the kids and I be? And what she says is true, because I don't have a job. I haven't had to work in years because Connor makes enough to support all of us. I wouldn't be able to support the kids on my own without a job, and I don't even know where to begin looking for a job, which really scares me. I definitely do not want to go to a shelter. And I know I couldn't afford my own place, so I have no choice but to stay right now.
Okay, well, I understand that you're in a difficult situation, and it's clear your daughter is your number one priority at the moment. Have you ever discussed your concerns with your daughter, with Annie?
No, I don't want to scare her, and I don't want her to dislike her father. Lately, I've been trying to keep my daughter busy with school activities so she doesn't have to be at home when he's around. Luckily, Annie has a lot of friends and is on a few sports teams, so that keeps her pretty busy.
Okay, well, it sounds like Annie is a pretty talented young woman. And it's great that she's involved in so many extracurricular activities and has friends that she can spend time with. Are you and the rest of the family also involved in any groups or organizations, maybe besides the ones you mentioned at school?
Yeah, we go to church weekly, and we've made a lot of family friends through the church. I also get together every now and then with a group of mothers who have kids that are friends with my children.
Okay. Have you ever told any of them what's been going on at home, or have they given you any suggestions of things that you can do?
I've told a few of my friends, and they've offered to help and said that Annie could stay with them for a while. But I don't necessarily know if I want to do that, because I don't want to be a burden to them, and I don't know how to even explain the reasoning behind it to Annie. She asks me why her father is always angry at her, and I just tell her it's because he had a difficult day at work or something like that.
Okay, would you feel comfortable telling Annie about your concerns for her safety? Maybe if you had help doing it and were able to brainstorm and include her in a plan to keep her safe?
Yeah, I think that would help. I just don't know where to start.
Well, part of what we do is help people and their families identify and overcome unsafe living conditions, or maybe domestic violence issues, and plan accordingly to accommodate what services would be best for our client.
Oh, that's great. So would you be able to help me plan something?
I would be happy to, Lucy. Usually when I sit down with the client and start planning with them, I like to use these two types of tools called an eco map and a genogram. An eco map helps both you and I by giving us like a visual of the personal and social relationships within your life. A genogram will give us a visual of the relationships within your family. Both these tools are extremely helpful, and we can do them together if you would like.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay, well, let's get started with the genogram. I assume you know your parents' names. Do you know
Yes.
their birth dates and their wedding date?
Yep.
Oh, good. That'll make it even easier. So let's start. We'll put your family over here. So why don't you put your father and your mother?
Okay.
And then we can put their ages on the bottom. And we'll just put their birth date in the middle. Do you have brothers or sisters?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay, well, we'll just put a circle right there, and we'll put you in the circle. You can include your age. Okay, do you know Connor's parents?
Yes.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and put his father over here and his mother next to him. And their marriage date, and are they still together?
Nope, they got divorced.
Okay, we'll include their divorce as well. I forgot to ask, are your parents still?
Yes, they're still married.
Okay, so we'll just indicate their divorce and put their divorce date, right?
Okay.
And there's a key down by the bottom if you need
okay.
for reference. Is Connor also an only child?
Nope, he has a brother.
Okay, so why don't you put, which one is older?
Connor is.
Okay, so why don't you put Connor first? We'll put a square, yep, you're getting it. And then we'll put his brother over here next to him. Is his brother married as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put her right there.
Well, he's married, but they split up, so.
Okay, well, we'll just do what we did up here and indicate that it's a separation. Okay, and Do they have children?
They have one daughter.
Okay, so we'll make a circle right there for her. You can go ahead and put her name and age in there. It looks like she's pretty close to your son Max, so that must be kind of nice.
Mhm.
And go ahead and put the connections there. Okay, and we'll go through and kind of fill out what types of relationships. Would you say your parents' marriage was pretty normal?
They had their ups and downs. I mean, sometimes they had like some physical abuse, I guess, but it's not like an issue anymore.
Okay, so we'll leave them like that for now. Do you know what Connor's parents' relationship was like?
To my understanding, his father Brady was abusive to his mother Emma, and that's the reason they got divorced.
Okay, so you'd say they probably have a strained.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just have you draw an arrow from Brady to Emma and then a squiggle across that to indicate that there is some issues there. Now, do Justin and Megan have?
Yeah, he also has, I guess, the same anger issues that Connor has, and he takes it out on his wife, which is why they split.
Okay, so we'll just do the same thing. Okay, and now you and Connor, would you say that you're...
Yeah, I mean, he has the same issues that I'd say his brother does and his dad did.
Okay, so we'll just indicate that. Okay, very nice. We'll do the eco map next. Now what I'm going to have you do for that, again, there's a key on the bottom to help you follow along and in case you forget or
Okay.
whatnot. We're going to put your family in the middle.
Like my whole family, like Connor,
Yep,
my
Connor,
kids?
just Connor, you and the children.
Okay.
And then we'll fill out the outside circles with the different maybe community organizations you're involved in, work.
Okay, so would that be like church?
Yep, like
Okay.
church would go in there. And if you can't fill all of them out, that is fine.
Okay. What else do you think?
Well, if you want to include any support systems, financial, if there's any therapy for anybody in the picture. Anything that you think would be important.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now let's start with work. I'm assuming that's Connor's?
Yep, Connor's
job?
the only one that works, yep.
Okay, so we'll draw a line from work to Connor in the center there. How would you characterize his relationship with work? Is it healthy? Is it stressful?
I think his job can be stressful, at least it seems that way, but he really loves his job.
Okay, what does Connor do for a living?
He's a CEO at a bank.
Oh, okay, so overall you think he has a pretty good work relationship?
Yep, he loves his job.
Okay, so we'll just leave that there. Let's move on to mother/grandmother. I assume that's
My mother,
your
yeah.
mother? Okay.
Yep.
And you've said before that relationship was pretty strained. Is she still involved in your life, or is she?
She is, it's just we don't see eye to eye on the whole doing like being like the wife putting up with like the husband's anger. She just doesn't understand. So I mean it has kind of caused a disconnect with my mother, but
So we'll indicate that one is strained with a broken line. Okay, now how would you characterize your relationship at the church?
I'd say it's a pretty strong relationship. I mean, we look forward to it every week, so.
Okay.
And I mean, we love going there, and we get like a lot of good things from the church, like friends and stuff. So.
Well, that's really good to hear. Friends, I assume you mean...
Just friends from like church, and then like friends from like the mothers that my children are friends with.
Okay, so a combination. And how
Yeah.
would you describe your relationship there?
I'd say it's like a really good relationship. I mean, I'm happy that I have like a bunch of friends in my life, and we have a lot of things in common, so it's nice to get together with them every now and then.
Oh, good. Okay. And the school, are you guys heavily involved in the school?
For the most part, I'm on like the PTO. I'm on the PTO committee, and I always help with like fundraisers and stuff. And then with Annie's sports, I'm pretty involved with the school just in general. So.
Okay. And is that a good relationship? Is it tense? Is it stressful?
Yeah, I mean, since I don't work, it's nice to have something to like go to and like keep me occupied throughout the day, so I can stay
Okay.
pretty busy with that.
That's good. Looks like you wrote extracurricular activities and
Yep.
sports.
Yep. So Annie's involved with like 5 different sports:
Okay.
basketball, soccer, track. She's on the cheer team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a busy girl.
So if you had to describe your family's relationship to those activities in one word, what word would you pick?
I think it's just busy, but then it's a lot of fun at the same time.
Okay. So a pretty good relationship there.
Yep.
And then financial support, is that...
Yeah, so since my husband is like a CEO, he makes decent money.
Okay, have you guys ever discussed money, or does he kind of keep...
He's kind of just the one that's in charge of it, and he pays all the bills
Okay.
and basically like takes care of everything else. So
Okay. Do you have any money coming in? Does he give you money?
yeah,
or
I get like
credit
an
cards?
allowance every month, and then
Okay.
we have like a conjoined checking account or joint checking account. So like
Okay.
there's money there, but yeah, I don't have my own separate account.
Okay. And then you wrote down bills, so...
Yep, he takes care of all the bills, so I don't even know like what we even have. Okay. So yeah, he just pays all the bills, takes care of everything. He takes care of all the like finances and stuff.
Okay.
I'm really bad at like balancing the checkbook and everything, so he just handles it. Plus he works at the bank, so he's like
Probably
used
has
to
a lot
that
of
kind of work.
practice.
Yep, and loves doing it. So
Okay.
it's kind of like his hobby, I guess.
Well, that kind of gives us a good picture of what's going on in your life. Do you have any questions, concerns?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll put that... I'll make copies for you, and then I'll put copies in my own file.
Okay.
So it looks like we talked about Connor's father having some anger issues similar to Connor's, and his parents getting divorced because of it, and his younger brother seems to have a lot of the same issues. So it's pretty clear that these anger issues seem to be a reoccurring issue for them, and either divorce or separation being the result. And for your side, they're still married, still together, but you said it has kind of had their ups and downs and incidences where your father has shown some violent behavior towards your mother. Is that kind of a good summary?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
Okay, great. So on what we got from the eco map, it looks like you have some very strong social relationships with the church and the school and all those extracurriculars and your friends, which is really good to see, really good to hear. However, your relationship with your mom is kind of stressful, and she doesn't really seem to understand all your safety concerns, and that she seems to think that dealing with a husband's anger is a wife's duty. And we can see that there's going to be some issues with not having a job and the other financial concerns if Connor was to not be in the picture anymore. Do you kind of feel you have a better visualization of what's going on right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I know we did talk about how finances are a concern for you and that you haven't needed to work in recent years. Would you like some help finding a job?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, that's awesome. I can refer you to someone at Career Services and they can go over what your job interests are and what jobs you might be qualified for.
Okay.
Earlier we discussed how you would not want to go to a shelter, and you mentioned that your friend did offer your daughter to stay with her for a bit, but you didn't want to get your friends involved with it. Did you know that we have housing programs available to families in situations similar to yours? This could be a temporary option to you and your children if it would be of interest.
I didn't know about that, but I don't necessarily want to leave my husband. I want to keep my children safe, but I want to be able to help my husband as well.
Under our housing program, we offer family counseling and individual counseling. Your husband could attend both family and individual sessions, and you'd still be able to see each other as long as you wanted to. You and the children would be in your own independent housing unit while your husband would stay at his own place. We have multiple families that are currently doing this. It offers a safe environment for the kids and their parent. There's no time limit to the temporary housing, which is another very useful feature. Some families, they work through their issues in the counseling sessions and they're able to go on to have stable and safe relationships and move back in together. And then others have chosen to continue living separately because it was the best decision for them. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, it'd probably be best for right now just because I know my daughter will be safer this way. And my husband will be able to get the help that he needs. But I guess I'm kind of just concerned about I don't want to necessarily know where I'm staying at. And when we do family therapy or family counseling, is that the place where the housing is, or is it going to be a separate place, a separate building somewhere else?
Well, I will help you with all of that. You and your husband would arrive to counseling separately.
Okay.
And we would ensure that he would not follow you back to the housing.
Okay.
It's in a residential neighborhood. It looks very nondescript.
Okay.
Doesn't really stand out. Looks like any other house.
Okay. And then how soon would I be able to get into this housing?
Well, you could be in this place by this afternoon at the latest. We would just have to make a few phone calls and fill out some paperwork.
Okay. Well, if we can't get everything set up, will I be able to bring some of my children's and my own personal belongings?
Absolutely. I or someone else will be able to go with you to gather what you need from your home.
Okay, and I guess knowing that, I'm just a little scared of how my husband's going to react. Connor usually comes home for lunch, and I know he's not going to be happy with my decision. He gets really upset when I don't tell him things, and he doesn't know that I'm here, so I'm just really nervous about that.
Well, when we go to gather your belongings, I can arrange for a police officer to come with us and assist us to make sure everything goes okay and that you are safe. I can also inform your children's school social worker on the situation and have them stay with your children until you can pick them up from school. And if you are unable to pick your children up from school, we can provide you with transportation or maybe send someone to assist you with picking up your children.
That makes me feel much better. I know he won't be happy, but I have to do what's best for my daughter.
Yes, that is very true, but will need to get your consent to release the information to the police.
Yes, you guys can do that, or you can do that.
Okay, well, I'll grab the release paperwork once we're done here and you can sign that. I know these types of situations can be very difficult and it can be very stressful. How have you been feeling through this whole ordeal?
I guess I'm just more scared than anything. I'm just nervous about my daughter's safety. I'm worried about, what if something does happen where he does take his anger on her and besides just yelling at her and actually does hit her or something like that, and or if he were to lose his temper completely and end up breaking her arm like he did mine.
Okay. In these types of situations, it is very common to have feelings of depression or thoughts of suicide. I want you to know that if you ever have any thoughts of suicide or if you ever feel depressed, there is a hotline you can call. The number is 1-800-273-8255. It's a 24-hour crisis line and they can assist you and you can speak to a counselor. I'll just give you their card.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And that is also good for your children. Shouldn't be too much of a concern with them, but every once in a while.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll just have you wait in the front lobby, and either I will assist you to go with and gather your belongings, and we'll get you settled into your new place. Do you have any questions for me?
No, not that I can think about at the moment. I suppose I could just like contact you if I needed to get a hold of you or if I had any other questions.
Yes, you sure can. I left my cards in my office, so I'll grab one of those for you as well, so you can have my email and my phone number. You can
Okay.
email or call at any time. I would like to set up an appointment with you in the next week or so just to follow up and see how everything is going. If you would be interested, Annie could come along to that meeting so I could help you explain to her what's going on, why you are moving, and starting to go to counseling, if you think that might be beneficial.
Yeah, I think that'd be like great because then it'd probably be easier for Annie to understand why things happened the way they did, and yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll just go gather the release form for the police and grab my card for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
Yep,
much.
I'll see you in about 10 minutes.